up, people? It's another episode of The Giants, guys. We're a half hour late, so we hope that you tuned in a little bit late and you're hanging out with us. I'm flying solo. I got my man Gio from the Game Day showing up in about 15, 20 minutes to talk some gambling, some betting. I've got a beer in hand, so boom, toast to your health. Thanks for tuning in. Another episode of The Giants, guys. NYGiantsRush.com. All brought to you by Astroflave. You guys have heard me talk about it. If you are a weekend warrior, you love to do CrossFit, you're banging plates. If you're a workout gym rat and you need a little bit of edge in your workout, check out the New Age supplement company that is now our sponsor, Astroflave. Basically, I can't tell you that anything I've ever had tastes any better. Peanut butter cup is my favorite. But they've got peanut butter and jelly, chocolate, all sorts of crazy stuff. No sugar added. It's the real deal. Check out Astroflave. And by the way, they'll mail it to you right to your house, okay? Because you can't buy it in a big box store. Astroflave.com, Astroflave on Twitter. And I have a code, NYGiantsRush. Will get you 10% off. All right, let's talk some football, people, before my man Gio gets on here. Maybe Michael, the Truth, will jump in here with us too. What we learned this week is some really cool info about our wide receivers. They are raving, few folks, and let me get the comments up so I can get you guys here. What's up, Joshua? What's up, Tuto? Love my man from Italy. Can't go wrong there. What we learned this week is the wide receivers are raving about the flexibility in this Kafka-Dable offense. We've got quotes from KT. We got quotes from Shepard that is going to allow these guys some flexibility in their route running, which is super cool because everything that Judge had was very staunch. As Kadarius Toney said, if it said 15 yards, it's 15 yards. Like there was no deviating from the playbook and the route that was written in front of these guys, where Kafka and Dable have these guys having a little bit of flexibility, cornerback lining on your outside hip, breaking to the inside. What's up, Mr. Thompson? Good to see you in the room. Thanks for tuning in. Just chatting about these wide receivers and how they are loving this new offense. So loving the fact that there's going to be some flexibility in the route running. Hopefully that Daniel Jones is also going to respond heavily to the flexibility with his receivers. It makes that relationship between the two quarterback and the wide receiver room a lot better. I personally, remember Kevin Gilbride used to have a very fluid, flexible offense. I actually used to think, yeah, exactly, Thompson. Mark, you're 100% right. Let me throw that up on the screen here. This new offense is going to remind some of us older folks in their 40s about Gilbride's system. Now, as Mr. Thompson can also probably attest to, Eli Manning threw a ton of picks in this system. So we're going for it with Jones. He may throw a lot of picks. And in case you guys aren't completely up to speed on what this flexibility is, you're allowing the receiver to basically break the route off, whether it, depending on where the corner is lining, shading inside or outside. It's allowing you to determine where the break's going to be. Break's going to be shorter, longer, inside or outside. You're making that split-second decision on, where you're going to break the route. And the quarterback has to be good enough to basically also read where that corner is and most likely to throw the ball in the right spot. Eli Manning, of course, threw a ton of picks in this system, so we might see a ton of picks in this system for Jones. So all you Jones haters, just start cranking it up because you're going to see, while you're going to see a lot more deep throws, you're going to see a lot more people taking Jones taking a lot more chances, and it'll be more fun to watch. You may get a lot more interceptions, Of course, some receivers aren't as intelligent as other wide receivers. Some are very cerebral cats, and it works fine. So, but just putting this out there now for you guys who just cannot, fathom Jones being on this team, you're probably going to see a ton more picks because you're making a split decision second on whether your receiver is breaking in or out or cutting the route short or longer. So I hope that it gets better as the season goes. But it's a new system, and I think the receivers are excited about it. And it sounds like Jones is pretty excited about it too. So, and honestly, there's an interview. If you go to Giants.com, you can hear John Schmelk interviewing Kadarius Toney, and Tony's very articulate and forthright about what he thinks of the new offense. He didn't throw anybody under the bus, but he just basically said, like, what a difference a year makes, with this new system. So they're excited, man. They are definitely going to throw the ball down the field. Okay. Whether that saves Jones's job or not, we don't know. So, but again, you're going to have a definite more fluid of an offense. You're also going to see Saquon Barkley. Again, tons of hate for Saquon Barkley. Okay, let's get over it, people. Please, come on. All right, it was 2018. He's on the team, so let's get past it. What's up, Ray from Virginia? This is a good comment. I'm actually going to put this up here from Ray. Let's see what he's got here. I can tell the guys are actually motivated this season, unlike the past 3 seasons. I think that's a pretty legit statement, Ray. I mean, I do think guys were motivated with Shermer his first year because, he had a little bit more dynamic of an offense. Judge definitely stifled these guys, his way or the highway. So, yeah, I definitely think your statement is accurate. They are motivated, and we've got some young cats that feel this system definitely fits better. And again, like as I was saying a second ago, Barkley had 900 yards. Somebody, in the room wants to correct me. I think he had 900 yards receiving, 900 yards receiving his rookie year. You're going to see Barkley actually receiving a lot more too, which is great for the team to get him out in space. So the offense is starting to pick up some steam from not just the physical standpoint, the mental standpoint. People are getting behind Kafka and Dable and what they want to do. So that's something to be excited about. I think we're around 70-something days, 73 days, 74 days till Giants football, which is super cool. I think it's 66 days to camp or something crazy like that. So it's coming, and it's coming fast, people. So definitely, if you haven't bought your game tickets yet, buy them up, because it's going to be a fun, exciting year. Yeah, thank you, Mark. 790 yards receiving. So you're going to see a lot of that out of Barkley this year. Also, let's do a little housekeeping too. There are, I tweeted out today, there are going to be 11. Count them, 11. And I'm toasting to you guys because I hope you show up. All right. There's going to be 11 camp days that you folks can go to. So I'm going to get the crew with Spartan, Mike, and Zane, and Chris, and John, and I don't know if the Truth's going to make it up 95 or not, because he's in the Carolinas. But I'm going to get the guys together, and we will stream live from either FanFest, which is going to be in August. I think it's August 5th, Friday, August 5th, will be FanFest. We're either going to stream live from the parking lot like we did last year, which was a ton of fun, or we're going to go to do some really cool content creating at camp this year. So, we'll be doing some cool stuff there. Also, a little bit of a surprise that I'm working on for you folks. Since we were super, super energetic behind Leonard Marshall, if you guys, maybe you live under a rock, Leonard Marshall, which our hashtags ring 70 in, seems like it pushed the Giants over the edge a little bit. He will be inducted in the Ring of Honor against Dallas. I think it's a Monday night game. So I got some special things coming up, lined up with our good friend Leonard Marshall. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to get some signed stuff. We're going to have some T-shirts made. We've got a whole bunch of stuff coming up there. So it's I don't know. We're going to have a lot of fun this season, people. A lot of fun. Number 75, Ray. Number 75, Ray. Who are you talking about? Number 75 is like Keith Hamilton. Number 70 was Leonard Marshall. Who are we talking about, Ray? Give me something to work with here. What about 75? I'm gonna say maybe that's a typo. Ray's got okay, hang on. Ray's got a lot of info coming here at me. Hopefully our offense looks similar to the 49ers offense and how they use their playmakers, give Barkley space to run and spread it out. I'm fine with that. We hope KT's also, Devo too. Like we hope our receivers are healthy and on the field. That's my biggest rub is that we still have Galladay, wearing a red jersey and KT wearing a red jersey and Shepard wearing a red jersey. And I don't understand how you were thinking of Hamilton. My bad. That's all right, Ray. I got you back. It's all good. Hamilton, the hammer, Keith Hamilton, was one nasty dude. Leonard Marshall was 70. And he's going to go in the Ring of Honor. Good friend of the show. He's excited. We're excited that the Giants are probably going to finally recognize the second all-time in tackles, third all-time in sacks. He's finally going to get his name up there in the rafters. So we're excited for our good friend Leonard Marshall. But yeah, so we got some cool things coming up there with some broadcasts and so forth. And listen, hey, look, there's no hate on our wide receivers. We need a positive outlook. Just there's a lot of guys right now that are hurt. So you're asking yourself, are these guys going to be ready to go for camp? Wan'Dale Robinson, I don't think he signed his contract yet. Somebody want to jump in the chat and tell me, these guys are slotted. In case you guys don't know, I'm not really big into salary cap, but these guys are slotted. You basically know what they're going to make. There's a little bit of wiggle room on guarantee money, workout money. But I'm not sure why he hasn't signed yet. So, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he signed last week and I totally missed it. Maybe I'm bonking on that one. But we need to get these guys signed and make sure they're good to go for the season. And once the Wan'Dale Robinson signs, everything else kind of falls into place. And again, if you guys remember 2000, I don't know if some of you guys are too young to remember the 2007 draft. Some of you guys might have been not paying attention because you were younger, chasing chicks and drinking beer. But the 2007 draft class, everyone on that class, from Boston Bromley to Bradshaw, Ross, all these guys, they all played. But Smith, they all had an intricate role in that 2007 season. So, this draft class has a lot of kind of a similar style. There's good 6-7 draft picks for the Giants this year that could actually play. I don't know about start, but actually play and contribute. Kevin Boss, Bromley, Bradshaw, Steven Smith, all those guys. Well, guess who's in the back? I see him backstage. It's my man, Gio. And listen, I know all you people need gambling help. Okay, so just hold on and listen to what this man has to say. He is the guru of odds, as I like to call him. My good friend Gio from the Game Day. I'm going to pop him in here because he's got a date at 9 o'clock. And he's like, hey, Tooch, I love to come on, but I got these string of girls waiting for me at the bar. So he's all like, I got to go. So I got to get Gio in here. Be kind with the comments because Gio's my guy. Yes, he's a Mets fan. Sometimes that happens. But let's get Gio in here.
Craig, what's going on? What's up? What an intro. I love
dude.
it.
It's what it would be to be, young again. 25. How old are you, Gio?
26.
See, what I tell you. So what it would be to 26 again? I don't really remember much about 26. But all right, I got some questions for you.
Shoot.
So let's start off with this. Let's say half the listeners, Gio, have no idea how to gamble. Let's just say what's the safest way for them to use the game day? Because there's a bunch of people. One, Mark Thompson's a Mets fan too. Yeah, okay, Mark, we know.
Let's go.
We know. Yeah, exactly. Let's go. I'm sorry, the Yankees are a better team. So just run this by me real quick. So let's say, you know what? I want to get into betting, some money. What's the easiest way to use the game day? What's the easiest way for me to get started?
So what the game day is it's a sports betting entertainment kind of site where we have all these articles and all this types of content. So if you go straight to the website, it's thegameday.com. It'll have so many different articles on there about so many different things. Like we're talking about the CFL even. We have a week 4 predictions and best bets. And these articles by our writers give, people kind of, we talk about whatever we're writing about. So NBA free agency, doing predictions like that. We'll do odds. We're already talking about the Stanley Cup predictions for next year. The Stanley Cup just finished, but we're talking about the early predictions next year. Right. And we're giving our best bets.
You're going to at least give me a guideline on what I should be looking to do. Like you're basically giving me enough help that I don't screw up completely.
Yeah, we're giving you all the information, and we're giving what we think, maybe our predictions, maybe what we think is a good bet. And then also the game day, there are tools on the site as well, articles on the site that are like, what's a bet? What's a parlay? How to do this? How to do that? What are some good sports book promotions? Different things like that. Just you go on our site and you could just click around and you'll get lost in all these different tools, all these different articles, things like that. Specifically also for the Giants too, we have articles, for each team and about the draft. We had articles for the draft, going into the draft, what each team, kind of predicting who would be picking what, then post-draft, what it's looking like, different things, player predictions, player props. That's coming up later on in the season as we get closer to the regular season. So we have whatever fan you are, whatever you want to get out of sports betting, we have it on the game day.
All right. Well, let me ask you this. So last time you were on, it's probably like 2 weeks ago, we were hanging out, having some fun, and you were giving me like, Daniel Jones being comeback player of the year, Thibodeau with defensive rookie of the year. Like, can you even tell me what's the hottest bet right now for the Giants? Like, what are you seeing or hearing that people are investing in? Like, what's that one where you see the most people kind of pushing?
So, I would say it's either Thibodeau to win defensive rookie of the year, or Daniel Jones to win comeback player of the year. Because right now, I'm looking on FanDuel right now, and the odds for defensive player of the year or defensive rookie of the year is Hutchinson at plus 500, and then Thibodeau plus 550. So Thibodeau's right behind Hutchinson. Then for comeback player of the year, ahead of Daniel Jones is Derrick Henry at plus 350, Jameis Winston at plus 550, McCaffrey at plus 700, Michael Thomas at plus 900, and Daniel Jones is at plus 900. So, if I had to pick, I would go with Thibodeau just because both players could win the award. Let me say that. Both could win the award. Daniel Jones on offense, he has all the weapons around him, all the tools. The Giants just need to be healthy, and Daniel Jones could run away with it. He could have an incredible season. And Thibodeau, he's a star. He's going to be a star on the defensive line with the Giants. He's going to be a problem. But the issue with comeback player of the year, you have Derrick Henry, who's the best running back in the NFL. If he didn't get hurt, he probably would have outran Jonathan Taylor. Jameis Winston, he showed a lot of good last year before he got hurt. So that's another one as well. Michael Thomas is coming back.
I can see Henry. That's kind of a no-brainer, but I can't see Winston actually winning that. I mean, if it's got to be a long shot for Winston to actually win that award. What's the odds on Winston?
Plus 550, he's second. So it goes Henry, Winston, McCaffrey, Thomas, and Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones and Michael Thomas are tied with the same odds. But if you had to pick Derrick Henry or Christian McCaffrey, they're both stars on their teams. No one could tackle Derrick Henry, and McCaffrey could run and catch out of the backfield. So he's kind of that two-layer running back, where Daniel Jones, he has a taller hill to climb, versus Thibodeau, it's not that tall of a hill. It's either going to be Hutchinson or him or some other player that's going to come out of nowhere to win that award.
What's the fun bet? What's the one down there? Is there a Giants bet that just is I'm gonna roll the dice on that one? Is there one bet that if you got $100 to kill it, that you don't care about? What's the fun bet for the Giants? Is there something that you roll the dice on?
You could roll the dice on them making the playoffs. It's plus 184 for them to make the playoffs. It's minus 230 for them not to make the playoffs. So they're favored to not make it. But if you really do believe in this team and you really do think that they're going to make the playoffs, you could roll the dice there. Or you could maybe do their win totals as well.
That sounds like one that anyone could probably wrap their head around, wins and losses.
Yeah, it's so the over's at 7.5 wins. So if they get 8 wins and you bet the over, they win. If they get 7 wins and you bet the under, you win. So their over is at plus 135. Their under's at minus 160. Now, you obviously know the schedule a lot better than I do.
Yep.
In your honest opinion, what do you think they could get? How many wins do you think they could get?
So the interesting thing about the Giants is they've repaired the line, right? So the issue with the Giants for the last, 5, 6, 7 years has been the offensive line, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, you've got a quarterback that nobody really knows what he could do because his rookie year, he looked great, and then he's been injured ever since. So you really don't know what he's going to do. So in my humble opinion, I think that since they went outside the organization for, a head coach from Buffalo and a defensive coordinator from the Ravens and an offensive coordinator from Kansas City, it's the first time ever that the Giants have gone outside the organization, right? Yeah. I've been telling people for a while that those 3 guys, maybe not Wink, because I think Wink is Wink. He's just like, this is what I do. But I think Kafka and Dabo and Shane want to prove that to the Maras that they made the right choice, right?
Yeah.
I think these guys are going to do a lot of things differently than the Giants usually do. I think people want to play for these guys. I think they're going to maximize. Like today, I don't know if you were probably jamming away on your grids, but like look, the interviews came out today. Like all the Giant wide receivers were like, man, this new offense is so much different than what we had. This has got flexibility. It's fluid. We're going to be able to break routes off. It doesn't have to be so staunch. So, I'd have to say the answer to your question is on the low side, looking at the schedule, which is not I'm sure you could pull it up. It's not a complex schedule, right? It's one of the easier schedules. I think somewhere, let's say low side, 6 wins, high side, I think they could go 8.
Yeah, no, I agree. I totally agree with that. And they're a talented enough team where if they're all on the field, they're going to be a good team. But if their injuries play a part into it, I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yep. The wide receivers are the key because if the offensive line gels and plays, I think the defense has got a lot of playmakers on it, okay, with young guys and some of the veterans. But you need Shepard, Galladay, and Tony to be healthy. Because if they're not healthy, then you're stuck with Wan'Dale Robinson, and David Sills, and you're stuck with I'm drawing a blank right now. The free agent
Slayton.
Slayton, but the kid they brought in from San Francisco. Oh my goodness, I can't remember. I'm drawing a blank on his name.
I'll find it right now. Would it be? Is it Richie James?
Yeah, Richie James. Yep. Because they brought him in, and they said he looked great in OTAs and in camp.
Yeah.
So Richie James, he's got a lot of speed. He's going to be a returner. Like you don't want to have to go to battle with Richie James, Slayton, Sills. You know what I'm saying? And Wan'Dale Robinson. Yeah. If that's what you go to war with on Sundays, you're going to look at 5 wins, 4 wins again.
No, I agree.
So this entire team is based on the offensive line gelling and the receivers being healthy.
I completely agree. And once you get that offensive line gelling, then you have Saquon gelling because Saquon is an extremely talented runner, and he could do a lot with a struggling offensive line, which you saw his rookie year. His rookie year, was incredible. When you have an offensive line that's actually meshing, it's actually doing well, I'm going to be locked in to see what he does. And see him run.
Rookie year, 1,300 yards rushing, 790 yards receiving. They've already said that he's going to be a receiving back, like that Le'Veon Bell or the Matt Fortes of the world. Like, get him out in space and get the ball in his hand. So if Saquon, let's even say if Saquon does 1,100 yards rushing, but he's got 1,000 receiving or 900 receiving, like, that's a great bounce back year. I don't know if the Giants re-sign him, but if you have a back with 2,000 all-purpose yards, you got to be winning some ball games.
Absolutely. And you could line Saquon up in the slot too. You could, with this new offense, who knows where people are going to be lining up, because I've seen Saquon line up in the slot as well, and he can catch from there. And he's a big body, so he's gonna run through some people.
Yeah, we've seen the Odell throw Barkley a touchdown. We've seen I don't remember if it was Tony who threw him a touchdown or somebody threw him a touchdown last season before he got hurt. Like, he can catch out of the slot, no doubt about it. And again, if you got a back with 2,000 all-purpose yards, you got to think that he's going to win 2-3 games all on his own, just with those kind of stats.
Exactly, and he's gonna. Yeah, my biggest question for this. Sorry, what were you going to say?
No. Go ahead.
I was going to say my biggest question is kind of the secondary of the Giants, because they lost Bradbury. The defensive line looks strong. The linebackers look strong as well. It's the secondary is the one thing that is the question marks. So
you being a young guy, 26 years old, okay, and this is just like for all of the young cats. They're always on fire about the DBs. Everything's about the DBs. Hey, look, I'm cool in the gang with that. But us old heads will tell you that the 4 shiny trophies in the closet there that we have. Okay, I know you as growing up a Jets fan don't know what that's like. But I will tell you that those 4 trophies came with pass rush. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying the Giants defensive backs were ever bad, but they were never all pro, right? I mean, listen, Corey Webster was great. Ross was great, but they weren't all pros. Either was, Mark Collins or Perry Williams or Felipe Sparks or any of these. They've always had really solid corners and really solid safeties, okay, but never all pro. But they've had all world pass rush, okay? I mean, every single trophy that they put in the case had stamped by pass rush from LT all the way to JPP and back. Okay. So this specific year with Thibodeau, Leonard Williams, Azeez Ojulari, Roche, I feel that to almost counter what you were saying is yes, they are going to be challenged. Because you've got who's going to play CB2. You don't know. You've got Adoree at CB1 who plays CB2. Maybe it's Robinson. Is he healthy? You got the rookie Flott that they drafted from LSU. No one really knows how good he's going to be. Now, I will say I called my buddy Leonard Marshall there who went to LSU. He said he's been on the sidelines. He's watched Flott play, and he said he doesn't get the credit because he'd had Stingley on the other side. But he said that Flott is just as good a player. He's just not as flashy. Now, I can't sit here and tell you that whether it's true or not, but he said, watching him play, being on the sidelines, he thinks that, once he gets his feet wet in the NFL, he said Flott's going to be a good player. You're right. There will be some challenges. I think Love and, of course, XMC, which is McKinney, I think the safeties will be fine. And then of course they drafted a couple of young safeties. The CB2 is going to come into question, but again, remember, Ojulari broke the rookie sack record with 8 sacks because Lawrence Taylor in 1981 they didn't count sacks back. Yeah. So he had 9.5 sacks his rookie year, didn't count. So Ojulari now owns the sack record. And that's, and if you look at it, he didn't have a lot of pressures. So when he does get pressure, he finishes.
Yeah. So
I think if Thibodeau is even, I don't know, if Thibodeau is even half of what he should be, he's going to pull down, 6-7 sacks as a rookie. Because think about it. Ojulari was supposed to go in the first round. and he didn't. And now we've got another young stud pass rusher. So I think the corners will be what's the word I'm looking for? They're going to be bailed out by a good pass rush.
Yeah. And once we get close to the season too, the sportsbooks will have like specific player props as well, which is really great. So,
cool.
I mean, what you're telling me, I think I'm going to take the over on Thibodeau sacks, depending on what the number is. Ojulari, same thing.
Yep.
If they're the core of the Giants pass rush, if that's what it's going to take for the Giants to win some games, then you got to take their sacks on the over.
Yep. And if you want to get really into it, okay, like I said, if you're really like looking for the edge when it comes to, betting on this specific line, Leonard Williams has 11 and a half sacks 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Then Tomlinson, free agency, he's gone, right? Now they don't, and then Martinez gets hurt. So Leonard Williams basically, and we interviewed Pepper Johnson, who was his coach his first 2 years of the Jets when he won Rookie of the Year and an All-Pro year, and Pepper Johnson said how unselfish a guy he is, and he had 81 tackles this year. Okay, defensive tackles don't have 81 tackles, and if you get really into it, JPP didn't have 81 tackles. He had 1 year he had over 80 tackles, right? Justin Tuck didn't have 81 tackles. Like 81 tackles for a D tackle, okay, is a lot. Yes, he didn't have a lot of sacks. They didn't ask him to get a lot of sacks. They asked him to say, look, we just lost Blake Martinez. Lock it down, clean it up. You know what I mean? And try to do, that became his job because Martinez would normally do that. So I think what you're going to get is you're going to get a lot of attention paid to Leo and Ojulari, or Leo and Thibodeau. One of those three guys is going to go off because, if Thibodeau lives up to the hype, they're going to start doubling down on the rookie. And then that leaves Ojulari to run free. If they worried about the outside edges with Thibodeau and Ojulari, Leo's going to win on the inside. So, if you're a betting man, there's a good chance that definitely, like, again, the Thibodeau number, do you have that or no? Like,
I can try and find it. So certain sports books already have these numbers up. Certain ones don't. It just depends. As we get closer to the season, they'll definitely have it up. I'll check right now some other sports books to see if they have these player props.
Because I would say, like, if I think the push has got to be 7.
Yeah, I got the numbers for Thibodeau. So they only have the rookies on Caesar Sportsbooks. The top 4 rookies: Thibodeau, Jermaine Johnson, Trevon Walker, and Hutchinson. Thibodeau's at 7.5. So for over, it's plus 120 and under minus 150. So
that's tough because that's what I had him at. I had him at 7 sacks.
Yeah, so it's kind of tough. Do you think he's going to have a monster year of over 7.5, or you think he's going to be just under with 7?
See, because here's the thing, we sometimes overshoot with our rookies, right? They're still rookies.
Yeah.
They've never even played football in December. Okay, so a lot of these rookies fade after a little bit after Thanksgiving. So because they've never played a season as long as they do in the pros, right? So for me, I'm a little bit more cautious with Thibodeau. I'm taking the under on Thibodeau. But I know they're not out yet probably, but I might take the over on Ojulari because he had 8. I could easily see him having an 11, 12 sack year. Now, again, I'm not saying like he's TJ Watt, but I can definitely see a 12 sack year out of Ojulari.
Yeah, and these all will go up in August. Like all the sportsbook will start having like more player props, more options come August. And I would shop around the different sports books because looking at Caesars right now compared to FanDuel, if we're going to look at just comeback player of the year, for an example, Daniel Jones on Caesars is plus 850, but on FanDuel he's plus 900. So if you want a little bit more value, you go to bet on FanDuel because you'll get more bang for your buck. And same with Thibodeau, I believe. On FanDuel, he was plus 550. On Caesars, he's at plus 400. So you can get even more money from betting on him on FanDuel than you would on Caesars. So these sports books, it's all different. It's the kind of the same layout, but it's different sports book will have different odds.
Yep. And like I'm looking in here and in the chat, a lot of these guys are talking about Ojulari. Yeah, Ojulari sacks came in bunches earlier in the season, So again, you think now he's, Mark, he's put on 20 pounds of muscle. If you haven't seen Ojulari, the dude is jacked. I mean, the dude is jacked. So he's going to give, if he can still bend, if he hasn't lost that crazy bend that he has, I'm definitely taking, again, if it's 9 sacks, 10 sacks, I'm going with the over for Ojulari. I just don't want to over project on Thibodeau because he's got a learning curve. You know what I mean? Like, I know all you cats are like, he's going to be great. He is going to be great. You know what I mean? I don't know if I could go that far. Let me pop this one up on here. How much of an impact would a rookie need to make to man a double team? Would he have to get? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to put this up here because this is actually a pretty good question. How much, by Mark, how much of an impact would a rookie need to make to demand a double team? He would probably have to get a few early in order for teams to want to double. Hands down. I mean, look, you're Mark, great question. Like, you're going to know right out the gate, if the kid can ball, right? If he comes out of the gate and, he's in the backfield, right? He's tackles for loss, right? He's got quarterback hits. Like, how much impact? The impact is if teams start to have to game plan for him, you know that his impact is happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ojulari definitely, they came in bunches, but like, you'll know right away. Like I said, he's a dynamic player. I mean, I don't know, Gio, what you think about that, but like, I think you would feel his impact right away.
You'll definitely feel his impact right away, but I think his sacks probably will come later on in the season because you have Ojulari coming in hot. You'll have Leonard Williams coming in hot right off the bat, right? They're the veterans. They've already experienced this. And then teams will start to double team them. You can't double team all three. So someone's going to get wide open, and then Thibodeau will find that time. He'll start getting to the quarterback. He'll start getting his quarterback hits, his sacks. Teams will start to double team him because it'll just be a constant rotation. Because if you have 3 players like that, 3 elite, I wouldn't say elite, but 3 really good pass rushers, right? And then we're not even talking about Dexter Lawrence. You have Blake Martinez. If he's healthy as well, there are options, and you don't know who to block. You don't know who to double team. People are going to get sacks, and then Thibodeau, that's when he's going to shine, is when someone else is getting double teamed. They're leaving him by himself, and he's going to get after it.
Yep, and then Mark also has a really great point that when you look at the history of Wink's system, you really don't have a 15, 16 sack guy because he spreads the wealth out. He's sending guys from the middle and the outside. Yeah. So, when it comes to actually sports betting, it's okay to be conservative probably with some of these numbers because Wink is going to say, okay, I'm sending Martinez this time. I'm sending Leonard Williams this time. Like, I don't think you're going to have a guy, you're like, listen, when you talk about the Steelers, it's TJ Watt's defense. Yeah. And then, he's racking up, I think he averages 16 sacks a season, right? Because he's the focal point. He's coming and he's beating double teams on a regular basis. Wink is like, I don't want one guy being the guy. I'm sending, I'm running twists. I'm running stunts, from the inside and the outside. So, I mean, if you're a conservative sports bettor, you're taking the under because Wink's not going to allow one guy to own the show.
And if you don't feel like taking their season total as well, you could wait till the games happen, and then you could take how many sacks they're going to get in the game because they'll usually have those kind of player props as well during the game. So whoever the Giants play week 1, you could have like, who will have 1 sack, who will have 2 sacks. And you could kind of see how the defense plays out, see how it is early on in the season. And then you could kind of be smart. Okay, this is the matchup that they're going up against. This is the defense that they've been kind of running. Here's who's been hot. Oh, I'm going to bet Thibodeau to get at least 1 sack today. Or I'm going to bet Ojulari to get 2 sacks in this game. If you're the conservative type. If you're not the conservative type, just throw the over. Throw the Hail Mary, throw the over. And it could happen.
First game is against the Carolina Panthers. It's at home, September 18th at 1 o'clock. Panthers are not known for being a very stout offensive team. It's a good barometer for your rookie, to get his feet wet. I mean, then look, game 2 is also home on September 26th. It's a Monday night against the Cowboys. So your rookie's going to get an opportunity to shine out of the gate, and then he's going to get prime time in week 2. Yeah. So, you'll know, what it feels like. Those guys, you'll get a good understanding of what they're going to be asked to be, what they're asked to do. On the offensive side, I wanted to mention this, Gio, too, which I think you'll like. They were talking about the new playbook on how they're using one word concepts. So it could be it could be like blaze, mohawk, fire, and they have to remember the entire play that's attached to that one word system. So I started thinking Kansas City and Buffalo must have a lot of cerebral dudes because that's hard. And then the quote by Sterling Shepard was that the playbook is massive because it's all pre-snap motion, and they've got so much pre-snap motion that they've never had before. So, you're also hoping that these guys can digest all that information, at one time.
I think who will benefit from that is the veterans. So Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, Ricky Seals-Jones at the tight end position. I think those guys will remember it better just because they've been in the league for so long. They've seen so many different offenses and things like that. Whereas rookies or young guys like Kadarius Toney, like Wan'Dale Robinson, it's going to take a little bit of an adjustment to get used to that kind of one-word system because if the playbook's this thick and there's so many words and there's so many plays to remember, they're going to struggle.
Yep, that is very true, especially, normally, you've got a concept and then, a route and sometimes, strong side, weak side, protections buried in a handful of words. I used to laugh listening to John Gruden. Oh my goodness. It was right side fire, reverse 25-6 Z curl, mongoose left, strike 2. And you'd be like, whoa, where this is strong side fire, go. And you're like, okay. And then that whole play concept is wrapped up into a word or one pre-snap motion. There's going to be a lot to learn. So the curve for the rookies is going to be pretty long.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think overall, the best bet going into this season for the Giants is Thibodeau for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think that's the safest bet to make because Daniel Jones, he could have a really monster year, but Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey, they're all pro guys. They've been there. We already know they have the talent. They just were hurt last year. Now they're coming back, and now they're just going to be their same old selves. Whereas Daniel Jones, there's still a lot to prove. Where Thibodeau, there's not really that many other guys. there's not that many other guys around him that could kind of leapfrog him for Defensive Rookie of the Year. So it's either going to be him or Hutchinson.
How the hell did we get in this situation? How we got a quarterback for 4 years and we still don't know if he could play. I'm like of all the stuff that have happened to this dumbass team, we have a quarterback that we still don't know if he can play. It's the most frustrating thing on the planet because I want to defend the dude, but I completely get it why people are like, he's not the guy. And I'm like, the funny thing is, Gio, even if he is the guy, you're never going to know because, he's got to run a young team to gel. What are they, like I said, I'm maxing out on 8 wins, right? I jumped on the bandwagon last year. I was like, woo! We came up with a whole concept. It was called 10 de floor. And it was DAFLOOR, 10 de floor. Because we were going to win at least 10 games. And that just smacked me right in the ass on that one. So now I'm trying to be a little conservative and saying, I see 7, 8 if things go right. And we're still in the same spot, not knowing if this is the quarterback. Can I gamble on who the quarterback is for the Giants in 2023? Is that a thing?
Well, you could bet on who will be. I think you could bet on who's going to get drafted. Who could get drafted? The NFL draft already, the number 1 overall pick. So if the Giants have a horrible year, you could bet either C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young to be the number one overall pick because they're not going to keep Daniel Jones.
We had a Twitter space last night that we talked about this on. They'd have to be effing miserable to get Stroud or Young. Now I'm not. I like those guys. You know, having watched a ton of Stroud, the dude's like crazy athletic and just got a cannon. I'm not really big on Stroud's middle game, like his mid-range game. I think that he locks on those thoroughbreds and he whips that sucker down the sidelines, and those guys basically catch anything. I don't know if he's got that. Yeah. So I asked a bunch of cats last night in the Twitter space on who else they were looking at, and they were talking about somehow everybody's falling in love with this cat from Kentucky. Is it Levis? Am I pronouncing it right?
I don't know.
He's the Kentucky quarterback. He was a transfer. A couple guys like Van Dyke from Miami. A couple guys like the transfer Cam. So I just don't know. I'm like sitting here and I'm like, I feel like the Giants are screwed again because we're gonna have to get another quarterback.
Well, I mean, you do also have Tyrod Taylor as a backup. And listen, I'm actually a big Tyrod. I'm a big Tyrod Taylor guy. Honestly, I am because he's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He had a shot in Los Angeles. Lung got punctured, was hurt. He got a shot again in Houston, got hurt. I think he's just had a string of bad lucks. Listen, I think if Daniel Jones – I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I think if Daniel Jones struggles this season, I think they need to pull the plug on him at early if he's struggling and just throw in Tyrod Taylor because
I don't have a problem with Tyrod. I don't have a problem. I don't want you to think I have a problem with Tyrod. I'm just not going into 2023 as his starter. No way.
But if he could be the layover, if you don't like any of the quarterbacks in the draft, he could be that layover either to start in 2023 or draft a quarterback not early in the first round,
Gio,
and kind of transition him.
Gio, if we start Tyrod Taylor in 2023, I'm going to be drinking a lot of these, and I'm never going to make it to the game. Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, Will Levis. Thanks to Mark in the room. Yeah, everyone's high on this Will Levis dude. I haven't watched him play, so I can't really say anything about him. But I can say this. If I understand correctly, I mean, he was throwing all these balls to Wan'Dale Robinson, right? I mean, he was the quarterback. Yeah. Unless I'm missing something here. You know, Levis was the guy chucking him the rock. So, and Wan'Dale Robinson had a crazy, junior year. So, maybe he's the guy. I don't know. All right. Well, look, I know you got like a date with like 9 women and you're like rolling out to the bar and you got stuff to do. So you don't want to hang out with us. What's happening? I've been talking to all your folks over there at the game day. They're so good to us. We got some stuff in the works, by the way. I don't know if they told you. We got some stuff in the works.
Yeah.
We've been talking. All right. So you're already up to speed.
Yeah, I'm in the know. I kind of know what's going on, what's to come.
All right. Well, all you people that don't know what's in the know, we got some really cool stuff working with the game day from I'm just going to give you a laundry list. I'm not going to say any of this is going to happen, but maybe. We got some stuff going on at the Giants Rush tailgate on Sundays with maybe some grilling. Okay, that's been tossed around. There's been tossed that we might get invited to the game day studios to do a broadcast, a live stream there. That's totally off the chain if that happens. If that happens, I'm going to have to pull out all the stops and I'm going to have to go get a crazy interview with like Dan Orlovsky again or somebody that everybody loves, like Carl Banks or I don't know. We're going to have to get a great interview if we get invited to the studio because we can't let them down. And then there's some other talks about filming, like some pregame stuff and like all sorts of crazy stuff happening with the game day. I don't know what I'm doing or what we're doing over here, but they seem to like it. So we're going to continue doing it. And that other dude that you hang out with too, I like him. He's great. Trent.
Oh yeah, Trent. Right? Yeah.
I like that dude.
Yeah.
We gotta get that guy on. That guy is smooth. I like that guy. And then the 9 beers guy. I like him too.
Adam, yeah.
Yeah, those are good guys. We got to hook up with those guys and
maybe we could get them at a tailgate. Maybe we could schedule a tailgate, get them down.
Yep.
Go crazy.
I told you.
Yep.
I have a trained chef who cooks every single, Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whatever it is. He's also like the chef for like the Red Bulls. So we do filet mignon. We do homemade sausage and peppers, homemade meatballs. We roll at the tailgate. Yep, you're in. You're already in. You're in. You're in. I expect you to at least see you at least 2 games at least. So there's a lot of stuff cooking with the game day. Folks, check out thegameday.com. Like Gio said, like you want to learn something, there's plenty of like how-tos in there or what the best, odds are. They're basically going to spell it out for you so you don't feel like, I'm going to F this up. They're going to give you all the details that you need. Plus there's a bunch of fun stuff in there too. Like I said, like Trent and these guys, they do some crazy stuff. Like they're at ballparks, they're doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So it's legit. So, in fact, they just had a bunch of folks out at the NBA draft. Like they're everywhere. They're everywhere.
All over the place.
Yeah. So, and Gio is going to hang out with us at the tailgate. We'll give Gio off because it's the 4th of July. So Gio, we do not need you to bring us any odds next week. We expect you to be at the beach with these 9 women that you're going to go see. Yep. Or was it 6? I think it was 6, and I think I exaggerated and stretched it to 9.
The number keeps rising. The number keeps rising.
Rising, exactly. Well, tell them all that the Giants Rush crew says hello. And then I need to get Gio. You need to get me like some game day merch.
I'll talk to Skip. Skip. We'll get you guys some merch.
I need some swag so I can wear. Now look, I am repping my Spartans. Just so you know, my daughter got a full ride to play at Michigan State in the Big Ten to play field hockey, and we will be
congratulations.
And training camp starts on Monday, so we are driving to Michigan on Friday to set her dorm room up, and then my little baby girl is off to play some big time D1 hockey. So
that's great.
I am repping my Spartans today, but talk to Skip. I can't believe you guys call him Skip. It's hysterical. Talk to Dave. We need to get some merch so we can rep the game day stuff. And then, I need some gear. All right. I see you repping the hat. I got nothing.
Yep.
I got nothing.
The hat. I'll get you the gear.
Get me some stuff. Bring me some surprises next time we talk. 2 weeks, we'll bring you back. Bring me some surprises. Yep. Tell all the game day folks we said hello. And, again, Gio at TGD Gio, which is the game day, in case I said that too fast for you slow folks in the back. It's the game day Gio. That's where you'll find him. Hit him up, follow him on Twitter. Make sure you're not a stranger, and we'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
Absolutely. I'll see you then. Appreciate it.
Later on, Gio. So that was Gio. He's a lot of fun. Always glad to have him on. Dude knows his sports betting. Check out thegameday.com. Thanks for tuning in. Show's a little bit, probably a little bit short because I'm flying solo, which is fine too. GiantsRush.com, nygiantsrush.com. Check out the stuff up there. All the podcasts are up there. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. Look, bang, I always do this to you. Hit the dang button. We need your support. Subscribe. It helps us out. Wake up, subscribe, go to bed, subscribe. The Giants Guy YouTube channel. The Giants Guys. Okay? Because that's where all the interviews are. Mark, Madge, thanks for tuning in. Giants Rush. Yeah, baby. Thanks for everybody hanging out and tuning in. I'm going to bring in some surprise guests like Madge. We're working on something. Me and Madge we're working on a secret show. So I don't want you to think that he's forgotten because I see him in the chat here. Madge, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for tuning in. We're working on a secret behind the scenes show, me and Madge. We've been kind of chatting offline a little bit, coming up with some good ideas. And then, of course, my man Zane has got some crazy stuff to announce. I don't know. We're doing something like in Philly where the Rocky statue, like we're gonna make him wear Giants gear or something like that. We're working on all sorts of crazy stuff. So nygiantsrush.com. That's where you're going to find all the articles, all the content, all the podcasts, or the YouTube channel. And last but not least, if you're a pod head, which I love you guys, love all the pod heads, Amazon Music, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Pods, go there. All the episodes, literally right up till tonight, all the episodes are there for you. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We're OUT out. Peace.